New tonight, after some community concerns, Longview City Council approved an ordinance that prohibits anyone from sleeping outside on private property. But KLTV's Christine Guevara reports council is faced with objections from the homeless community and their advocates, and who are now looking for a solution.
If they are not allowed to sleep here, and if it's illegal for them to sleep anywhere, where will they just exist?
The conversation started with One Love Homeless Day Shelter. Executive Director Amanda Veazey says her clients were being fined and arrested after nearby businesses and community members alerted law enforcement.
It makes our job harder and all of the work of the other nonprofits harder if we are already trying to develop resources and then we have tickets, fines, and jail time. That's piling up on top of that. So we then said, okay, well, it's safe here. You can sleep on our porch.
Then more opposition arose. Mayor Kristen Ishihara says the city already has an existing ordinance prohibiting one from sleeping on any public property. She says the new ordinance brings clarification with additional language that specifically eliminates the action.
My intention is not to seem that we're taking a specific attack on an organization, on a population, doing anything that is intended to cause harm, but simply to clarify our current ordinances that don't allow camping in the city of Longview.
It's criminalizing poverty and homelessness, and we are still leaving a gap.
Veazey says other shelters may turn certain people away due to their rules, making accessibility a problem. So when asked for a solution,
it is a hard issue that I can't tell you I have a solution for. We would have already done it. What I am committed to doing is to sitting down with individuals and organizations that are addressing that problem, trying to look at how the city can step in and help, but that will be through a group effort.
Christine Guevara, KLTV 7 News.
Sleeping outside on private property is now a misdemeanor punishable by a fine of up to $2,000 if violated in the city of Longview.